Good Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing? I am Kendrick, the sports guy, and it is time for our Saturday night sports buzz, where we talk about what's the latest happenings in the world of sports and entertainment news. Again, I'm Kendrick, the sports guy. Hope you are having a good weekend. And man, let me tell you, our Saturday here in East Texas, more specifically, Tyler, as well as the surrounding areas. We got a little bit of drama with the weather a few hours ago. We had some hail, like pea-sized hail that was going on, and it was a little sticky. It was kind of crazy here for a minute. But all is good, all is quiet. It's a little cool now, but we are chilling on this Saturday night again in Texas. Hope you all are having a good one. So I'm gonna give it a few minutes just to see if a couple of people gonna pop on. You know what I do. Again, this is my Saturday night sports buzz that I come on and kind of give you some of the highlights of this week's sports stories, some of the hottest topics, some of the trending news in sports, and even talking entertainment a little bit and whatever. Because again, I don't just do sports. I follow a lot of stuff, but mostly sports. But I try to follow everything and keep my eyes and ears to the grind about what's happening. So again, make sure you come in, you like, you comment, you subscribe to the channel that is Kendrick Sports Hustle right here on YouTube. Make sure you like and follow it as well on Facebook if you are on that platform. Also, subscribe to TFG Sports Media on YouTube and follow it on Facebook because we got some big things popping over there in the TFG media landscape. So again, when you come in, make sure you comment. Let me know where you're watching from, so I can give you a shout out. Also, again, like I said, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Kendrick Sports Hustle doesn't cost you a dime. Subscribe to it. Subscribe to TFG Sports Media. Like and follow them both on Facebook. You can also follow me on Instagram at Kendrick1969. And you can follow me on TikTok at Kendrick Henderson 51. So we got a lot we want to talk about. Again, this is just where we just kind of, you know, talk a little bit, chat a little bit, get to know each other a little bit. I see it's 9 people watching, 10 people watching. Y'all make sure y'all comment. Let me know where you're watching from so I can give you a shout out. We got some NBA playoffs that tipped off. Actually, the first round tipped off earlier today. We have 4 games on tonight. The last game is going on right now between the number 4 seeded Los Angeles Lakers and the number 5 seeded Houston Rockets. We got earlier games I'll give you the score on as well. We had a big historic deal that went down in H-Town with the Houston Texans. And we got some drama, as always, in the sports podcasting world. Nick Wright versus the Ball family. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about a little bit about just beef in the podcasting world. And we're just going to freelance, freestyle, as I call it. But before we do that, I want to get some comments. I want to talk to some people that's going to be checking me out. Let's see. Who is this? Madar Ruchilla 1237. What's up? Watching me on YouTube. How you doing? Where are you watching from? I'm good. My day is all right now. How was your day? My day was good. How was yours? Where you watching from? Let me know so I can shout you out. Again, I'm in Texas. I'm in East Texas, just to let you know, Tyler, Texas, which is about an hour and a half east of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and about an hour west of Shreveport, Louisiana, and about 3.5 hours north of Houston, Texas. But I am in East Texas. So that's where I'm at. It's good. Okay, where you watching from? From Ohio. What part of Ohio? Let me know. Because we got an Ohio, we watching Ohio native son right now between the Houston Rockets and the Los Angeles Lakers. What part of Ohio are you from? Are you from Akron? Are you from Cleveland, Cincinnati? Speaking of which, there was a big trade that went down that has something to do with Ohio, by the way, in the NFL. Just came across my feed. Dexter Lawrence, defensive tackle for the New York Giants. He was not happy with his deal with the Giants. He has been traded to the Cincinnati Bengals, by the way. That just was released just northeast. Okay. All right. That's what's up, Ohio. Ohio is in the house. So anybody else watching, let me know where you're watching from. I'm going to give you a shout out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Doesn't cost you a dime. Share this live stream to your social media platforms. Right now, we got the NBA playoffs going on, and the Lakers and the Rockets are at halftime. I think that was one of the most marquee games everybody wanted to check out. It is, I should say, two of two of the most legendary players in the league when it comes to NBA, who are going to be future Hall of Famers in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. We got 41-year-old LeBron James versus 37-year-old Kevin Durant. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? There is no Kevin Durant tonight. He was scratched because of a knee contusion that happened in practice. So the Rockets do not have Kevin Durant tonight. But the Lakers do have LeBron James. They are up by 2 points at the half, 50-48. But the Lakers are the walking wounded, man. They don't have their other top scorers. They don't have Luka Doncic, who's out with a grade 2 left hamstring injury. And they don't have Austin Reeves as well, who's out with an oblique injury. And according to all reports, their status is unknown when they will return. So most likely the Lakers will not have either Austin Reeves or Luka Doncic for this first round series matchup between the Houston Rockets. Again, this is historic in a certain aspect because again, you got the 37-year-old Durant versus the 41-year-old James, 78 years combined. Could this be the last one for LeBron James? Could this be his swan song? You know, I ain't trying to get him out the league already. You know, again, I'm not a big LeBron James fan, but I'm not a LeBron James hater either. But this is the fourth time these two have met in the playoffs. But this is the first time that these two future Hall of Famers have met in a round that wasn't the NBA Finals. The other three times that they met was in the NBA Finals in 2012, 2017, and 2018. You know how that matched up. But this is the first time that they have met in a first round series. Again, first year for Kevin Durant in Houston, which he played 78 games, which is the most games he's played in a while. He averaged 26 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, and 4.8 assists. And again, like I said, he played 78 games, and he was listed as questionable for the game, but then game time came, he ain't in there. So right now, they just started the second half. That is the Lakers versus the Rockets. The Rockets are up by a point now, 51-50. They were actually 5.5-point favorites going into game one. So I would like to know you guys' thoughts on this matchup between two future Hall of Famers. Who you got? Do you think the Lakers will be able to find a way to win this series, or is it the Rockets just got to make sure that they take care of business? Make sure you put that in the comments. I'd like to know. Personally speaking, I think it's going to be tough for the Lakers to win this series. I think LeBron at 41, what he's done is definitely, you can't hate on what he's done at his age, 41 years old, and he can give you 20. He still can give you 20 or 30 on any given night. Now he can't do it consistently, but he can give it to you. But not having Luka Doncic and not having Austin Reeves, that's going to be a tough hill to climb, I think, for the Lakers and head coach J.J. Redick. As far as the Rockets, not having Kevin Durant tonight, that a big deal? Kind of, if you look at it, kind of be, because I think, again, the Lakers are the 4th seed, the Rockets are the 5th seed. The Lakers have home court advantage. If the Rockets could steal this first game, I think they would be sitting pretty. But again, I think this series is probably going to be neck and neck. I think once Kevin Durant comes back, uh, I still think the Rockets probably would eventually win this series in probably in 6 games. So then the question will be, will LeBron James, the NBA's career leading scorer of all time, he holds a whole bunch of records that he has accumulated under his belt. Obviously, it's a longevity record, but it's still a record, in my opinion. What will he do? Will he ride off into the sunset and retire, or will he come back and try to give it another go? Which by that time he will be 42 years old. So I don't know. Like I say, me personally speaking, I think the Rockets is going to win this series just because of the youth of they have. Kevin Durant, I think he's the X factor, but I also think the Rockets got some young talent around him that can do it. And as far as the Lakers, I just think it's going to be tough for LeBron to try to carry this team at 41 years old. Luke Kennard would have to step up. DeAndre Ayton as well as Marcus Smart. Those are the two guys. Rui Hachimura too, in my opinion, would have to step it up. And I don't know if they can do that in a 7-game series. And I said this earlier when I was talking to a partner of mine. I was like, in the NBA, you talk about playoff series, they all go 7. Most of the time, I ain't gonna say all the time, because you do get some teams that get upsets, but most of the time, the best team normally wins in a 7-game series, which is different than a Super Bowl, different than the college football national championship. That's different than the NCAA men's and women's tournament, because a lot of times it's a one and done in those type of tournaments, and you know what I'm saying. So it ain't necessarily you got to be the best team to win. You just got to be the best team that day. But I think in basketball, NBA, and baseball as well, the MLB, I think when you talk about these 7-game series, 9 times out of 10, the best team is going to win. They're going to win 4 games out of those 7. That's just my thoughts on that. So again, right now, the Lakers are up 54-51, and if they could win this game, which they are at home, I think that would do a big boost for their confidence. And I think the Rockets may go and sit and scratch their head and say, you know what? Yeah, we lost this game. We lost it without our leading guy, Kevin Durant. And so I think there's no need to hit the panic button just yet for the Rockets. So that's my thoughts on this series. Now, we had games earlier that already have been put in the books. We had the number 5 seeded Raptors at number 4 seeded Cavaliers. That was a real entertaining game. The Cavaliers will hold up. They got the victory 126-113. So they are up 1-0 in that first round playoff series. Then we had the Timberwolves at the Nuggets. Number 6 Timberwolves at the number 3 Nuggets. I think this is going to be one of those series that can go back either way. That was very entertaining. The Nuggets got the victory at home, 116-105. And then the game after that, number 6 Atlanta Hawks at the number 3 New York Knicks. The Knicks were able to sneak out the victory, 113-102. And so they are up 1-0. So all the home teams thus far earlier in the day have held serve. They are up 1-0. Again, we got the number 4 seed, the Lakers, hosting the number 5 seed, the Rockets, and see if they can make it 4 in a row where the home team goes up 1-0. So that is the NBA playoff situation that we got going on. And again, I'd like to know you guys' thoughts. Talk to me in the comments. You know, the Lakers in this Lakers and Rockets series is probably the most premier one. I want your thoughts on it. Who you got in this series, and if the Lakers can't pull it out, should LeBron hang it up? And speaking of the Lakers, I mean, Bronny James is probably going to get a little bit more playing time because of all the injuries the Lakers have at this point. And so there's been a lot of negative comments about Bronny James, and he shouldn't be in the league and this and that. Listen, man, at the end of the day, Ain't no sense to keep talking about that because he's there. He's wearing the Lakers jersey. And you just hope the young fella can get better. I do think that he's under a lot of pressure, and I hate that for him just because of who his pops is. I thought his pops, I thought LeBron Sr., in my opinion, was a little bit selfish because he wanted to stick around and play with his son. I get that. I got two sons myself. I would probably kind of be a little bit in that selfish mode too. If I'm in a situation and I know my sons are following in my footsteps, i.e., what I'm doing like in front of Mike, if one of my sons was wanting to do this, you damn right, I probably would want to be able to do this same thing with my son. But I also don't want to put them in a position where I don't feel like they're ready. And so I don't think Bronny was ready, considering he was just coming off that serious medical condition at USC. But again, who am I to tell a father how to be a father and parent his children and all that? So I hate to see all the negative comments about Bronny, calling him trash and this and that. Nobody wants to see that. But he is a professional now, and he wears the Lakers uniform. So that comes with the territory. So that's my thoughts on that. So again, the NBA playoffs, again, first round, we got the Lakers and Rockets. It's going down. And right now, the Lakers are holding a slim lead. So let's move on to our next topic. Where do I want to go with our next topic? Let's go. Let's keep it in basketball. Let's go to Nick Wright, FS1 Sports Journal. I'm sure he's a journalist. I don't know if he got a degree, but I like to call these guys that do these shows sports opinionists, i.e., the Nick Wrights, the Stephen A. Smiths, all those that do sports debate shows. They are opinionists because at the end of the day, they really just giving you their opinion, and they're sprinkling it with some facts, but with some narratives to fit their what they're trying to get across. So we got to talk about this Nick Wright versus the Ball family, man, because Nick Wright a couple of nights ago, he called the youngest Ball brother a clown. Matter of fact, you ain't got to take my word for it. I wrote it and let you listen to it, and then we'll talk about it. Here it is, Nick Wright talking about LaMelo Ball after this situation with Miami. He's Bam Adebayo, where it looks allegedly, I ain't gonna say allegedly, looks like he tripped him after he was fouled. Bam Adebayo would hurt his back. He wouldn't return. He would leave the game in the second quarter. The Hornets would win that game in overtime, 127-126. Oh, and by the way, the Hornets would eventually move on to play the Magic, where they got blown out today, by the way. But again, Nick Wright had this to say about the young Ball, LaMelo. Let's check it out right now.
Know that.
You're right. You're right about that part.
Hopefully he learned. I hear you.
You know what? That part is correct.
He...
You know what, Brew? I'm glad you're here to correct that. I don't know what he will be down the road. What I do know is.
Hold on. I want to replay that because I think the first part was clipped. Let's try that again.
That the way he conducts himself on the court, and it would appear off the court, is that of an immature, coddled teenager.
No, you know what? I got to back this up because I want you to hear exactly what he said. Hold on. Because I don't know why that's clipping. That audio is clipped. I want you
to... if this gets clipped. That young man is a clown and has been a clown forever and will never not be a clown.
Well, that's a little far. You don't know that.
You're right. You're right about that part.
Hopefully he learned. I hear you.
You know what? That part is correct. You know what, Brew? I'm glad you're here to correct that. I don't know what he will be down the road. What I do know is that the way he conducts himself on the court, and it would appear off the court, is that of an immature, coddled teenager.
Again, That was what Nick Wright had to say about LaMelo Ball, the youngest son of LeVar Ball, the youngest brother of Lonzo and LiAngelo. He called him a clown. Well, the Ball family, they responded. Big brother Lonzo responded on social media. Daddy LeVar responded on social media as well. But here's what big brother Lonzo had to say about Nick Wright. And you can read that. You can see the graphic right here if you're watching me on the screen. Lonzo says Nick Wright, a bum. Folks saying clown with a perm. FOH. And you all know what FOH means. Y'all know what that acronym means. But again, Nick Wright said right here, he says that talking about LaMelo, that young man is a clown and has been a clown forever and will never not be a clown. My thoughts on this, I think a lot of these sports opinionists / journalists, they take it a little bit too far when it comes to talking about athletes. They decide they want to put a little bit of their mustard and their mayonnaise on it just to add a little bit of whatever, but I think it toes the line of disrespect. Again, now what LaMelo Ball did to Bam Adebayo, could that be considered dirty? Possibly. Obviously, yeah. If you saw the video, if you saw what happened, yeah, it did look like he actually tripped him, in my opinion. But I don't know if that deserves to be called a clown. I said this. I responded to a commenter on my Facebook page. I said I could rock with Nick Wright if he said what LaMelo Ball did was clown-like behavior. I get that. I could say that. I was like, okay, I can see that. Cool. But to call these athletes clowns and out their name, we've seen this uptick in this disrespect from sports opinionists / journalists for a few years now. Skip Bayless is one that's really big at doing it. We know with the Russell Westbrook that he just kept doing that and saying that, and eventually Russell Westbrook's wife got sick of it, and you know, so I think a lot of these guys, again, I get it. It's about, you know, the shock value. You know, it's about wanting to entertain. I get that. But at the end of the day, man, these people have families, they have children, they have all these other things. So I'm all about critiquing a athlete's game, but I'm not about disrespecting them as a person. That ain't now you crossing the line. That ain't journalism. That ain't being a sports journalist. Now you just really trying to be an asshole. Really. Especially if you haven't done it. I think that really irks a lot of these athletes, especially if you haven't done it. And so I thought that Nick Wright was out of line for that. I could understand if he said it was clown-like behavior, but to call LaMelo Ball a clown like that was out of line. I was out of pocket. And then again, Daddy LeVar will respond on his Instagram on Wednesday, and he called those on that set, first things first, he called them all Rudy Poots. And you know how LeVar Ball rock. Y'all know he rock for his sons. And I you know what? I can be transparent. At first, I had some issues with LeVar Ball. I thought he was a little bit too loud. I thought he was a little bit too, God dang, man. Can you chill out a little bit? But now looking back on it, as a father with 3 sons, he is, and I have 2 sons and I have a daughter. I ain't got a problem with him being really protective of his offspring. And so if you don't like the way he you know, his brashness and how he does it, that's on you. But at the end of the day, them his babies. And so, you know, as a papa, as a father, you know, when you feel like that somebody is saying something out of pocket, you're going to step to them. That's about protecting your seeds. And even though they grown men, they still his baby. So, I had to kind of change my perspective on how I looked at LeVar Ball. So again, and I think, like I said, this whole situation, I get it. Sports journalists, sports opinionists, I sit in front of this mic and I watch sports and I do this thing and I try to critique, but I'm never going to toe the line of disrespecting a athlete and making it personal. And I think a lot of these guys make it personal at the end of the day. So right now we still watching these Lakers and Rockets. Lakers up 65-58 in the third quarter. So again, there's going to probably be more to come to this. But we see this more and more on social media. And to piggyback off of that, I got to play this clip from sports journalist, Fox Sports journalist, analyst, Mike Hill, because when I went live last week, I said that, I was talking about all these podcasters' beef in what we see on social media. It was disturbing because most of them look like, well, the ones that I know of, they all look like me. It's all black men going back and forth with each other with all these beefs and feeling like they got to call each other out on social media and feel like they checking them. And I said this last week, it's disturbing. And then, lo and behold, as soon as I got off that live last week, I went on Instagram and Mike Hill popped up. Mike Hill, if you don't know who he is a Fox Sports journalist. He does college football, college basketball. He's been in the game for a minute. I actually met him years ago when he was the weekend sports anchor at WFAA in Dallas-Fort Worth. So, and he's a cool cat. He's also, when I pop it up and run this soundbite, you probably gonna recognize him. He was in reality TV. He was on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. His fiance at the time was Cynthia Bailey, and they eventually got married, but they were divorced in 2022. But he was speaking the same sentiments that I was feeling when it comes to black men in this sports podcasting game and this beefing. It's just gotten fucking totally, I cuss, and I didn't mean to do that. It's gotten freaking totally out of hand, and I'm disturbed by it, and we gotta cut it out. But here's what Mike Hill had to say.
Brian Clark came after Cam. Acho went after Matt Barnes. Most experts talking more about each other than talking about the actual product. I mean, just in the past month, Brian Clark came after Cam. Acho went after Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes came back at Acho. Matt Barnes and Stephen A had a back and forth. Everybody coming after Stephen A, it seems. D. Wade and Patrick Beverly got into it. Jason Whitlock 2 times. He had to throw his big 2-piece biscuit and a gravy into the mix. Jason Whitlock. And I got love for all these guys, except Jason Whitlock. Did I say that? Jason Whitlock. But bruh, while I love a little debate and drama, this has gotten too far out of hand. All talented, accomplished, and accredited individuals who have built these huge money-making platforms in the world of sports. But when they gonna stop tearing down each other's empires? Like I said, I'm all for a little drama every now and then. Hell, I was part of a reality show. But it's kind of ironic that some of these same brothers who tried to discourage me from being a part of that drama are now creating their own ugly reality. And they ain't pulling wigs. These brothers seem like they just trying to pull up on each other. And the only tea they seem to be spilling is toxicity. And they all got something in common. Funny, we don't see Pat McAfee beefing with Colin Cowherd or Tony Kornheiser going after Bill Simmons that often. So here's my plea, because I know, love, and respect each and every one of them with the exception of one. And you know who your big ass is. Like I said, I understand beef. I understand a little drama every now and then ain't bad. But once again, like I know y'all know each other, man. So why don't we start doing a better job of building each other up instead of trying to tear each other down? Or at least when you got beef, man, reach out to one another privately. And for God's sake.
Again, that was Mike Hill basically talking about exactly how I was feeling about what's going on in this podcasting game. Again, I'm a small I have a small channel. Again, I have roughly 1,400 subscribers on YouTube. I have roughly 3,900 followers on TikTok, roughly 2,200 followers on Kendrick Sports Hustle on YouTube, as well as roughly on my personal Facebook page. I have roughly 3,700 followers on my Facebook, as well as Kendrick Sports Hustle on Facebook. I think I have like 2,200. So I have a small platform. I don't have a big platform like the Stephen A. Smiths, the Jason Whitlocks, and all the other ones, even the Nick Wright, and all the other ones, man. The Ryan Clarks, who's with the Pivot, and the Matt Barnes, and all, all the smoke with he and Steven Jackson and all that. But it's disturbing to see that all the time, man. It's always some sort of beef that the Cam Newtons and all that it's about going back and forth with one another, and they all look like me. We're all black men, and we beefing like in social media. You got an issue with somebody's take or whatever, and you feel like instead of say, hey man, let me come on your platform, let's debate this your take. You feel like you got to make a video to go at them. They got to make a video to go at you, and this and that. And then now it's all about you both going back and forth like a bunch of cackling hens, like I said last week. And I think it's doing a disservice to us as black men. It's doing a disservice to sports, because I grew up loving sports. And from the when I could begin to understand and read sports and love sports, I grew up loving sports. And so the debate and the sports debate has always been a part of the culture, no matter what race you are. Going to the barbershop, you're getting into debates, serious debates. I was in the serious one tonight before I went live. I won't name the establishment because that's free advertising. Unless they want to sponsor me, I would name it. But I was in a debate earlier tonight. We were debating sports. We were debating Super Bowls versus NFL championships. Do they count? This and that. And it was a lively debate, but it was fun. It wasn't no animosity, none of that. It's just because at the end of the day, sports is sports, and it's not that serious. At the end of the day, that's my thoughts on that. And so I don't get that. Hey Tia, thank you for popping in. Tia Clark, make sure you follow her. She's a hell of a singer. Those that are watching, I got 2 people watching, but make sure if those that are watching, make sure you go follow Tia Clark right here on Facebook. I don't know if Tia has a YouTube channel or not, but make sure you follow her and do that. But back to what I was saying, man. I just feel some type of way about sports debate, and the social media, because it's definitely changed the game, man. It really has. Like I said earlier, we were having a lively debate, but it was all fun. But now it doesn't seem like it's fun anymore on social media. It feels like that's a lot of these sports podcasters feel like they have to go at each other and to one up them and embarrass them. And then again, at the end of the day, everybody's take is their take. There's no right or wrong answer. You're welcome, Tia. No, thank you for popping in. There's no right or wrong answer. It's sports, ladies and gentlemen. It's not brain surgery. It's sports. And so it doesn't get that serious. So I say this to my brothers that's out there, because I don't see my white brothers going at each other like this on social media. Just like Mike Hill said. And I'm gonna play that again. I'm gonna play that again. I don't know if Tia, you were able to catch that, but I'm going to play that soundbite again. And he was really, really right. Let me pull it up.
Care if this gets
Not that one. Let me pull it up again.
Sports experts talking more about each other than talking about the actual product. I mean, just in the past month, Ryan Clark came after Cam. Acho went after Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes came back at Acho. Matt Barnes and Stephen A had a back and forth. Everybody coming after Stephen A, it seems. D Wade and Patrick Beverly got into it. Jason Whitlock 2 times. He had to throw his big 2-piece biscuit and a gravy into the mix. Jason Whitlock. And I got love for all these guys, except Jason Whitlock. Did I say that? Jason Whitlock. But bruh, while I love a little debate and drama, this has gotten too far out of hand. All talented, accomplished, and accredited individuals who have built these huge money-making platforms in the world of sports. But when they gonna stop tearing down each other's empires? Like I said, I'm all for a little drama every now and then. Hell, I was part of a reality show. But it's kind of ironic that some of these same brothers who tried to discourage me from being a part of that drama are now creating their own ugly reality. And they ain't pulling wigs. These brothers seem like they're just trying to pull up on each other. And the only tea they seem to be spilling is toxicity. And they all got something in common. Funny, we don't see Pat McAfee beefing with Colin Cowherd or Tony Kornheiser going after Bill Simmons that often. So here's my plea, because I know, love, and respect each and every one of them with the exception of one. And you know who your big ass is. Like I said, I understand beef. I understand a little drama every now and then ain't bad. But once again, like I know y'all know each other, man. So why don't we start doing a better job of building each other up instead of trying to tear each other down? Or at least when you got beef, man, reach out to one another privately. And for God's sake.
Again, that was Mike Hill, Fox Sports analyst who covers college football, college basketball, speaking on the podcasters beef that I'm feeling some type of way about. Again, last Saturday I mentioned that I'm like, this is really disturbing to me. And lo and behold, after I got off last Saturday's live, I went to Instagram and Mike Hill, this soundbite, this clip popped up. So that meant to me like, yo, you aren't the only one feeling like that. And so I just want my brothers to get it better, man. We should be lifting each other up and trying to make each other's platform better. So, you know, my thing is, if you got a beef with that dude, whatever, y'all go on each other's platform. Instead of, you know, making these videos, these negative videos, calling them out, not giving them an opportunity to respond. Y'all go on each other's platform. I don't care who. Y'all figure it out. And then y'all you talk it out. And then, you know, if you don't rock with each other, you don't rock with each other. Because I can be totally transparent. I'm with Mike Hill on Jason Whitlock. I would never want him on my platform, and I would never go on his. But I'm not going to, I don't have nothing to say about him. I don't follow him. I don't subscribe to his channel because, you know, I don't rock with him like that. That is Jason Whitlock. If those that do, cool. I don't. Because I think some of the things he do is clown behavior when it comes to my people. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. But again, I just think that all this beefing and all this craziness, man, yeah, to you, it's just like, it's only us that's looking crazy. And I know that all you guys got each other's contacts, especially the bigger platforms. And I said this earlier to you, I don't know if you were in here, but you know, I don't have a big platform. I'm not on their level. I got 1,500 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I have roughly 3,900 subscribers that follow me on TikTok. And on my Facebook, I have roughly 3,700 followers on my personal Facebook, and on my Kendrick Sports Hustle, I have around 2,300. So I'm a small guy, but again, I think there's enough room for everybody, and everybody has their own thing. So we ain't got to be trying to get on here and just be calling each other out. Right, Tia. It needs to stop immediately because it ain't a good look. It is not a good look, in my opinion. And so I know everybody ain't gonna rock with each other. You know, I know it ain't gonna be a rightly king. Can we all just get along in our own? I get that. But ain't no sense of you using your platform to bring that other person down. If you don't rock with them, don't mention them. Don't rock. Don't say nothing. You do you and let them do them. You keep it moving. That's what I do. That's what I do. Like I said, I don't the one cat that I know on that has a bigger platform that I would never follow. I don't subscribe. I don't watch any of his stuff. It's Jason Whitlock. I don't. And that's okay. And he probably he don't give he don't give a ish who I am anyway. And that's fine too. So, but I just want us to do better and be better. Black men. I'm speaking to black men because this is in sports. Because sports ain't that serious. Sports supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be debatable. You can be able to debate and whatever, and may not agree. Say, you know what, bro? Nah, I'm good. Nah, we ain't gonna we can agree to disagree, but I enjoyed the debate. That's how it's supposed to be. But I also know that too, that on social media, it's a whole different way that you do that. It's about clicks and views and controversy, because I already know that that's what we like as human nature. Human nature innately likes controversy. They tend to want to watch when there's something bad or negative going on, especially on social media. Especially since I've been on social media for the last 10, 15 years. I guarantee you, I could post something. I could do a story that has some negative connotation to it, and it's gonna get the views out of the world. People gonna watch it when it's some negativity. But if I post a story that's positive, ain't nobody checking for that. Ain't nobody checking for it. And that's the sad part about it. It could be a really good story, a really feel-good story. Nobody will click on it. They ain't sharing it. They ain't viewing it. They ain't commenting on it. But oh, lo and behold, if it's some negative energy, if it's some clapbacking going on, just like I showed earlier, Nick Wright versus Lonzo Ball, Nick Wright calling Lonzo Ball a clown, those stories gonna get the views. They're gonna get the comments. But I could do a positive story about a young man out of UT San Antonio, a kicker, that his numbers, he had his pro scout day, and boy, his numbers was off the charts. He was adopted out of Liberia. He played high school soccer in Iowa and all that. I did a story, I did that, a segment on that. Ain't nobody want to watch that. That's too positive. Too positive. But if I do a story about Nick Wright and calling Lonzo Ball a clown, LaMelo Ball a clown, everybody watching that. And that's the unfortunate part. That's the thing that disheartens me about social media and about being a content creator. Because now you have to pick and choose. You have to choose. Do I want to do this positive story where I know ain't nobody really going to watch it? They not going to comment on it. They not going to click like and share it. Or do I got to do this story on where it's some drama and I got video of somebody going in on somebody or whatever? And I know they're going to watch that. And they probably going to share it 2,500 times. That's the dilemma that we are in. Not just on social media, just in off of social media as well. So those just my thoughts. So we'll see. You just got to navigate these waters and continue to keep doing what you're doing, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So that was my thoughts on that. Let's see again. NBA playoffs going on. Look like the Lakers, man. Lakers may end up winning this thing, being shorthanded. Obviously, the Rockets didn't have Kevin Durant tonight. He was a game time decision. He was a scratch because of a knee injury that happened in practice. So LeBron and the fellas, the number 4 seeded Los Angeles Lakers in the West versus the number 5 seed Houston Rockets. Looks like they may end up getting and holding serve at home 1-0. You know, the thing is, this series is going to be one of those things that I think there's going to be some scrutiny, and there's going to be a lot of people talking about who's not what and who's this and that. Because here's the thing, LeBron and Kevin Durant, they're going to be damned if they do, damned if they don't. Because I think that the pressure is on the Rockets in this series. I'm just going to keep it real with you. I think all the pressure is on the Rockets in this series, because if the Rockets don't win this series, the signing of Kevin Durant as a free agent, it's going to be looked at as a bust. Because if you couldn't beat the Lakers when they were without Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, why in the hell did we go out and sign you? I'm talking from the Rockets perspective. I'm talking from Rockets fans' perspective, not necessarily a perspective, but that's going to be a question that's going to be put out there, because we know the Lakers they're not going to have Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves for this series at all. It's a 7-game series. So if the Rockets aren't able to win this series with the Lakers shorthanded, I think that's going to definitely put I ain't going to say an asterisk, but that's definitely going to give those anti-Kevin Durant people more ammunition and call him, he ain't that dude. But I also would say that if the Lakers win this with LeBron, that's gonna increase this GOAT debate, which I don't fall into. I think this GOAT debate is freaking played out. As far as when you talk about the NBA, I don't get into the debate. I don't even talk about it no more. If you follow me, I would never ever post a GOAT. I won't ever post anything about who's the GOAT in the NBA, because I think it's a played out topic and it's tired. Because it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you think the GOAT is, because most times, 9 times out of 10, you ain't changing nobody's mind anyway. Because I know my mind isn't going to be changed about who I feel is my GOAT. Because at the end of the day, your GOAT is your favorite player. And you can put up all the stats and all the analytics you want, but most times you ain't changing nobody's mind on who their favorite player is. And I just think that's played out. But I think this series right now, I think the pressure's on the Rockets. I think they have to win this series. I think the pressure's on Kevin Durant. LeBron ain't got nothing to lose in this series. To be perfectly frank with you, he doesn't have anything to lose. Just because he doesn't have the ammunition. Yeah, he doesn't have two guys that roll with him all the way to these playoffs. And that's coming from a guy. I'm not a LeBron fan, but I'm not a LeBron hater either. I appreciate his greatness, but he's not my guy, my GOAT. But this is how I'm gonna look at this right now. The Lakers are up 77-69. So there you have it. So we're gonna stay in Houston. We gotta mention this before I get off of here. There was a historic deal made down in H-Town. My fam is down there. My fam, Charles Henderson, and amongst others. Will Anderson Jr., he became the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. He signed an extension on Friday. Well, I'm assuming he signed it, but there was an extension made, and I'm sure he did. 3 years, $150 million. Again, that makes him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. 134 million of that is guaranteed. It surpasses the deal of Green Bay Packers edge rusher Michael Parsons. The third-year defensive end out of Alabama had 12 sacks last season. He was tied for 8th in the league, 20 tackle for losses, which was 4th in the league. He finished 2nd in the Defensive Player of the Year award voting to Cleveland Browns edge rusher Myles Garrett. Again, like I said, Will Anderson Jr. was the 3rd overall pick out of Alabama in 2023. Again, so he's got that money. He got that bag, and I ain't mad at him. Get that bag. Now, here's some of the breakdowns of that package. His total value, again, $150 million for 3 years, $134 million guaranteed. His average annual value salary of that is $50 million per year, which is the highest for a non-quarterback in NFL history. He also has a no-trade clause in that deal, and he is under contract with the Houston Texans through 2030. But here's the deal where the Texans are knowing their business. Was this Nick Casario, GM down there? Will Anderson Jr.'s new contract won't kick in until 2028. So for this season and next season, he's going to be making I ain't going to say bare minimum, but he ain't going to be making, he ain't going to hurt their cap. But when 2028 come around, that's when this new extension pops in. And guess what's going to happen? The Texans are going to restructure his deal in 2028 so they can make sure that it'll be cap friendly and they can do some things. Now, that's how you work the system, ladies and gentlemen. Cowboys fans, do y'all have a general manager? No, y'all don't. Do y'all have an owner that can work the system like that? That's how you work the system. So there you go. So you extend your guys that's on your rookie deal. You extend them 3 years into it, so you can kick the money down the line. You feel what I'm saying? Because he's in his 3rd year, Will Anderson Jr. He's going into his 3rd year. So what you do is if they've shown that they got that game in their 3rd year, that's when you come say, hey, let's work on an extension. We're gonna give you this right now, and then you can kick some of that money down the line, so that way it ain't eating up your cap. It's about learning how to manipulate the cap again. So they got C.J. Stroud as well, 2023. They already put him on. I don't think they've signed an extension deal, but they've exercised their right to a 5th-year option, I believe, on C.J. Stroud. That is the Texans. So they can figure out how they can work this money and all that too. So that's how you work the salary cap system in the NFL. So there you go. Again, shout out to Will Anderson Jr., and he deserves it. In his career, again, 3 years. He'll be going into his 4th year this upcoming season. He has 30 sacks, 46 tackle for losses. He's played in 46 games, and he has 4 forced fumbles. Again, he finished 2nd in the Defensive Player of the Year voting this past season, 2nd to only Myles Garrett, edge rusher for the Cleveland Browns, who had 23 sacks, which is a new NFL record for a season. So H-Town is in the house. I'm on a couple of sports groups. I'm in a couple of sports groups, and then these guys I think a lot of these guys in sports groups, their comprehension and their reading level, they don't read because they're in their emotions. They're not about facts. And there's one person in this sports league who I think is a Cowboys fan. He says that Will Anderson isn't even a top 15 edge rusher in the league. I'm like, oh boy, really? I just really read just to take the temperature of a lot of people, sports fans that's in these leagues. I don't really comment because I know a lot of those guys, a lot of those people that are in those sports groups. A lot of them are fanatics. they don't read. They don't really understand how the system works a lot of times. And when you talk about professional sports and how you have to figure out contracts and put money in and do this and that. So a lot of their comments, I just sit there and just shake my head and be like, okay, if you say so. And I think Will Anderson Jr., when you talk about one of the edge rushers, him and Danielle Hunter, they probably the top tandem in the league. And I think both of them are they that dude. Danielle Hunter, I think he's on he signed a 1 year $40.1 million deal. So but I think that Texans defense is stout. I think you gotta keep Will Anderson Jr. because his motor he goes 100 miles per hour. I watched the Texans since with me being in Texas, so I know that defense is stout, and I know Will Anderson Jr. is that dude. So at the end of the day, I ain't mad at him for getting his money. So there you have it. So I guess that's it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. My Saturday Sports Blitz with your boy Kendrick, the sports guy. I hope you all are having a great weekend. Like I said, I was here I'm here in Tyler, and man, we got some hail earlier that was crazy. So it's some people that had some damage, man. One of my buddies, Sean, he had some damage to his roof as well as to his garage. And I've seen some other damage. I've seen some other pictures. So those that have had to deal with this, man, I'm praying for you that all will be okay. Hope your insurance will take care of you at the end of the day. This is why you pay those insurance premiums, ladies and gentlemen, for situations like this. So hopefully everybody will do that. So right now, what we got going on over here with the Rockets and the Lakers? Let's see here. The Lakers are still up. I think the Lakers are going to. Man, listen. If the Lakers win this series, that's going to be. That's going to definitely be deflating for the Rockets. The 7:33 left. Lakers are up by 14. Listen, I think if the Lakers win this series, and again, it's just game one. It's a 7-game series, so the one thing that you have to say, the first 2 games, the team, the Lakers are at home, so they're supposed to win their first 2 games. I would say that. If the Rockets can still win, obviously that's what you want to do. But with the Lakers not having Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic, I just said, the Rockets are probably going to go in here and do their thing. But that's why you play the game. Am I right, ladies and gentlemen? That's why you play the game. That's why all these sports analysts and opinionists, they can say what they want. But at the end of the day, these athletes got to go out and play the game. Listen, I'm watching them on the feed, so I might be a little bit behind. But right now, the Lakers are up 91-76. with 6:24 left in the fourth quarter. They are by 15 on the Rockets. And, you know, I got to give a shout out to my fam, Charles Henderson. Hopefully you watch this. All right, man. Don't have me calling you tomorrow, bro. I already know you go. Hey, there's no way that I ain't gonna say there's no way. Let me take that back. There is no way that I would have thought that the Rockets would have to struggle with this Lakers team. In my opinion, you know, opinions are just like buttholes. We all have them. But again, that's my thing. I'm a sports guy, and other things too. There was something else I wanted to mention before I got off of here. That was not even sports related. Oh yes, the R&B tour. The R&B tour is coming to a city near you. What is the R&B tour? It is the Usher Raymond and the Chris Brown tour. It is official. It's going down. And I think it kicks off in June. And so I already know that tour is gonna be freaking crazy. Chris Brown and Usher Raymond. And you know, I didn't realize that Usher was as old as he was, and he's not old. I mean, he's 47. I don't know why I didn't think I thought Usher was like 40, but he's 47. And you know, the young brother, he's been in the game for a minute. But that Usher Raymond, Chris Brown tour, which is called the R&B tour, that I'm sure it's going to be crazy packed. I know they're going to be the women, you know, throwing draws. It's going to be nuts. So I can only imagine the numbers that it's going to generate when you talk about that tour. Also, we got the Michael Jackson biopic that's going to be dropping, I think, next week. And I'm assuming those numbers are going to be astronomical as well. His nephew, Jafar, I think his nephew is Jafar Jackson, who's Jermaine's son, who looks like his uncle. And from what I've heard, he sounds a lot like his uncle too. So that is going to be doing, that movie is going to do some numbers too. And I definitely want to go check that out. So we got a lot going on. What else? I'm trying to see. Was there anything else that I obviously missed? I don't think so. And it is Saturday evening, and all is quiet. And we got the NFL draft. I do have to mention that. Oh, before I get off of here, got the NFL draft coming up next Thursday in Pittsburgh. It's going down. First time in the draft in Pittsburgh. And I'm going to do something live on Thursday, preview with my good brother, KOTV sports director Michael Coleman. And we're going to talk about some of who from East Texas, because again, I'm in Tyler, Texas, I'm about an hour and a half east of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and about an hour west of Shreveport, Louisiana, and about 3.5 hours north of Houston. We're going to talk about what to expect in the first round, because there's been a lot of rumors that there's going to be a lot of draft day trades. I've been seeing that. I've also been seeing that the Dallas Cowboys are looking to move up, according to reports. So there's, according to what I've been reading, so there may be a lot of craziness going on in this draft. So on Thursday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, your boy Kendrick, the sports guy, I will be going live with my good brother, KLTV sports director Michael Coleman. We're talking about what to expect in the draft, especially from who's going to be possibly being drafted from East Texas. We got Haynes King, who was a quarterback at Georgia Tech. He played at Longview High School in Longview, Texas. His dad, John King, is the head coach, who's a cool guy. Yeah. Shout out to head coach John King, who has been battling some health issues, but I think he's overcame them. I was able to interview him a couple of times when I was working for the ABC affiliate right here in Tyler at KLTV. He was always gracious. He was always cool with me. So his son is probably going to be drafted. Yeah, I think he's going to be drafted. I don't know if the first day, but he's going to be drafted. So we'll talk about that. We got another running back that played at Tyler Legacy, I think his name is Jamario Miller, who went to Alabama. He's probably looking to be drafted in this upcoming draft. So there's a couple of names that's going to be out there that we're going to try to focus on from East Texas that hopefully get their name called. Maybe not on Thursday, maybe not on Thursday, but possibly on Friday and possibly on Saturday. So again, make sure you lock in with your boy Kendrick the Sports Guy. If you haven't already, subscribed to the channel Kendrick Sports Hustle on YouTube, as well as TFG Sports Media. It doesn't cost you a dime. Make sure you follow them both on Facebook. Again, Kendrick Sports Hustle, as well as TFG Sports Media. You can also follow me on TikTok at Kendrick Henderson 51 and on Instagram at Kendrick 1969. And speaking of TikTok, I will be going live on tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time on TikTok. So make sure y'all come follow me over there. My TikTok live chat, it goes down. It goes down over there. It's a lot of interaction where we have a lot of fun. And the Lakers are up 94-80, looks like, and they probably going to take this game. So make sure you come in and tap in with your boy on TikTok. Again, over there on Kendrick Henderson 51 on TikTok. Make sure you come tap in with me. 1 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sunday. Then don't forget, on Thursday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, we'll be doing our NFL Draft Preview Show with myself and KLTV Sports Director, my good brother, Michael E. Coleman. So again, I hope you all have a great rest of your Saturday night. I'm going to finish watching this Lakers game, put on me some YouTube music, and try to stay out of trouble on this social media platform, because sometimes when you done been out and had a couple of drinks, or sometimes you'll do some things that you probably shouldn't be doing. And as you see behind me, that's Lambeau Field. Green Bay Packers, baby. I got to get this out. I didn't say this at the beginning. 414 Brew City, Wisconsin born, Texas raised. If you know, now you know. If this is your first time watching me, you already know. Packers fan, born in the 414, Milwaukee, Brew City, already, all day. So there you have it. I am Kendrick, the Sports Guy. You all have a great rest of your Saturday. And again, come check me out on tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time on TikTok. Follow me again over there at Kendrick Henderson 51. So we'll talk to you on the flip side. And again, set your notifications. We'll be live on Thursday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, talking about the NFL Draft. Again, be safe, be cool, peace, love, and light. I'm out. Deuces.